Alright, well, good morning. The last video we posted, it was my testimony. I hope you guys enjoyed that. It was kind of summarized. I left a lot out for time restraints. If anyone wants to leave me some feedback with some more information on any specific events, or for me to elaborate on anything, just let me know. We'll make a video for that. I think I decided what we're going to do is we're going to do one video on faith, one video on guns, and one video on mechanics. And we'll just go in that order. So today's gun talk day. I kind of want to go over the fire mechanisms just because of all the confusion and all the nonsense we're hearing now, right after the Parkland shooting. So just to kind of dive into it, semi-automatic, right? So the phrase semi-automatic can be applied in several different ways. It can be applied to more than firearms. It can be applied to anything with automation. The words semi-automatic simply mean that part of the process is automated. Specifically in a firearm, it's the cocking and reloading procedure. In a semi-automatic firearm, when you pull the trigger, the weapon will fire one round. And then when you release and pull the trigger again, you get one round. It's one round per trigger pull. To kind of dive through the mechanics super quick, you'll pull the trigger, it'll fire one round, and then the process that is automated is that the firearm will automatically cock the firing mechanism and pick up and chamber the next round. Pull the trigger, ejects the casing, cocks the mechanism, picks up and loads the next round, and so forth and so forth, once per every trigger pull, while ammunition is available. Fully automatic, and the same with semi-automatic, you can use that term in things other than firearms. It just means the process is fully automated. So in a fully automatic firearm, when you depress and hold the trigger, the firearm will automatically fire a round, cock the trigger cock the firing mechanism, eject the casing, cock the firing mechanism, pick up and load the next round, fire it, eject the casing, cock the firing mechanism, pick up and chamber to the next round, and will continue to do so as long as ammunition is available and as long as the trigger is depressed. And is a fully automatic weapon. And some of the posts I've read and some of the stuff that people are saying right now, it hurts my face to hear or to read. It's just ignorant. I will debate anything with anybody. I like to talk. I'll argue with you if you want me to. I don't get heated. I don't get upset. I enjoy having conversations. Ask anybody I work with. I will pick a topic, even if I know the point that I'm pushing is incorrect. I'll pick a topic and talk to you about it, just because I think it's fun to kind of counter-argue things, to kind of dive deep in this stuff. But the gun community and the anti-gun community have such a massive gap of knowledge, it's very difficult. CNN recently hired an expert to give his take on the AR-15. They show him shooting it at a range, and they show the reporter shooting it at the range. For one, he should have gone on to the reporter about the proper way to hold a firearm. Anyway, he says it's fully semi-automatic. Like, that's not even a word. What are you talking about, dude? And then all these people, they just kind of show their ignorance. They'll say, I read a post on Facebook, and it said, well, I think that people should have a right to own a pistol, to defend themselves and to defend their home. that nobody should own a semi-automatic firearm. Well, that doesn't make sense unless we go back into the black powder days. In essence, the mass majority of handguns are semi-automatic. You know, everything that Glock makes is semi-automatic. You know, my carry pistol is semi-automatic. Anything with a magazine that's a handgun is semi-automatic. Now, there are revolvers. Revolvers are single or double action. The majority of them are double action. It doesn't meet the criteria, I guess, to be considered semi-automatic, but it will fire 1 round per trigger pull. It just doesn't have to load the ammunition. It just rotates a chamber. And so I'm hoping this video will kind of, in the videos to come, will kind of educate people. The whole gun control thing, I don't know. I don't want any gun control. That's just me. And we'll go further into that when we start talking about liberty and all that stuff. We might dive into it a little bit. But after the Parkland shooting, and everyone wanted to ban the AR-15. Ban the AR-15, ban the AR-15, because that's what was used. Well, that's not going to change anything. I mean, I believe there was a recent attack in China, a couple people with some knives, and they killed more than the Parkland shooting with knives. People use trucks, baseball bats, hammers. And they're talking about gun violence on the rise. Well, if you look at the FBI statistics, that's incorrect. I can't remember the percentages or the numbers, but you're highly more likely to die getting hit with a blunt object or falling down some stairs than you ever are of ever being shot by a rifle. And the mass majority of deaths that are gun related are with a handgun. And then also, the mass majority of deaths that are gun related are suicides. And so the numbers can be skewed, and they can be skewed easily. But I've got a lot of different ideas, a lot of different things. I don't want to get too deep. I don't want to make the world angry yet. But, you know, kind of talking about liberty and how it ties to gun control. So there's several different schools of thought on liberty. And what it boils down to is how safe do you want to feel? You have to sacrifice a certain amount of freedom to gain security. And it just depends on which you would like more. I'm a firm believer in liberty and freedom. I think we should have as much as possible. We should be our own decision makers, our own regulators, our own, you know, whatever. We should have the right and the freedom to make our own choices and to make our own mistakes. Ultimately, the problem with freedom is that in order for it to be real freedom, for it to be true, is it's got to be available for everybody. And so one of the things that really gets on my nerves, we're looking at buying a house, and I don't like that the government can tell me what I can do on my own land. You know, if I want to catch rainwater and I want to run solar power and not be on the grid, if I can maintain, that's my property. I paid for it. I should be able to do that if I want to. If I want to dig a swimming pool in the backyard, I should be allowed to. If I want to build a shed or a garage, I should be able to. It's my land. I shouldn't have to get the government's permission and pay them money to do something with something that I own. But the counter argument to that is I may be intelligent enough to not do something stupid, to not destroy the land and be able to build things. But my neighbor may not be. He might decide to go dig him a big hole and destroy my water supply. Or who knows? The point is, we're only as strong as our weakest link, I guess, as far as permittance goes. And the same thing with firearms. Second Amendment says, you know, we have a right to keep and bear arms, form a militia, to fight tyranny. I think we should be equipped with the necessary firearms and ammunition to fight our potential enemies. And an AR-15, as many people say that it's a military-style rifle, yeah, I guess, maybe. But, I mean, I own a couple, but that's not going to win a war. I mean, in the right hands, the right number of people, maybe. I think if you can afford it, and you can pass a background check, you should be able to buy an Abrams. But to counter-argument that, there might be, if that was the case, I think we would see some corporations develop private militaries. For what reasons? You know, I don't know. Security, per se. If somebody had enough money, could buy a large enough army. But just because I think that we should be able to arm ourselves equivalently, if I go buy a 240 Bravo, I'm not going to do anything stupid with it. And I don't know that I would own a fully automatic firearm, but again, my neighbor might. He might not know what he's doing. And he might put 100 rounds of .308 through my other neighbor's house. Because he's an idiot. I don't know. But that's the problem with freedom, is in order for it to be free, it's got to apply to everybody. So you have to delegate and discuss different things. You know, the libertarian thought cycle is, well, if it's mine, you know, it's mine or whatever. You know, if you don't like it, don't do it. If you do like it, do it. And it's just kind of open-ended liberty. And that's cool to an extent, but what a lot of people don't understand is that your rights end where mine begin. So, yeah, you got freedom of speech, you can say whatever you want. But that doesn't mean that you can control, hinder, or stop my rights. Yeah. So kind of going back to firearms, I need some ideas. What do you guys want to talk about? You want me to give you a walkthrough on my firearms? Kind of discuss the firing mechanisms? Probably not going to be able to do any shooting for a little while. I don't have land that I can just run out to and shoot some stuff. I don't know. I think March, sometime in March is the first IDPA. I need to figure out a way how I'm going to record that. I'd like to get another GoPro, but I'd have to update the version of Windows I'm running on my computer before I can do that. So I don't know. So let me know. What do you guys want to talk about? I know we talked about semi-automatic, fully automatic. We talked about single and double action. There are other firing mechanisms. There's lever action, pump action. And a pet peeve I'll address real quick. Clip and magazine. They are different. They're very different. Magazine is the casing with a spring in it the ammunition goes into. A clip is a strip of metal that the end of the casing slides into. And so if you were to look at a clip, you'd see a strip of metal with visible ammo hanging off of it. A magazine is just a casing. Like, you would see the casing, and then you would be able to see ammunition in the tip, but it's not really visible. I've actually got a magazine right here. So this is a magazine, extra magazine, that I just have in the car for my carry pistol. We'll talk about what I carry real quick, just to have some more information. So I carry a Springfield XDM 3.89 millimeter. Barrel's 3.8 inches long. The M designation on the XDM is the match grade trigger and barrel. I think it's an awesome firearm. It's one of the favorite pistols I've ever shot. I also compete with it, and it's my everyday carry. I keep the concealed carry magazine in it. It's a 13-in-1. Magazine I just showed you is a 19-in-1. I keep 2 of those in my door. Just because. Why not? I've got a trunk gun. I've got a 300 blackout. And a lot of people might think I'm cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, but one of the schools of thought that I have is that the purpose of your pistol, your defensive pistol, is to defend yourself until you can get to your trunk or get to your rifle, because that is the combat weapon. I'm not saying that a pistol can't be, but you know, being prior military, I just feel at home with a rifle in my hands, and depending on the size of the threat. But yeah, so that's what I carry. Again, just let me know. What do you guys want to talk about? What do you want to do? Give me some ideas, and we'll do our best to do it. I don't have a lot of money, so it might take us a little while to get some stuff accomplished. My church group's actually talking about getting together, just as a side thing to the men's ministry, just the men that would like to do it, get together and go shooting. That'd be fun. I might try to get their permission to film there. But we'll see how it goes, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.